So, my beautiful peoples, we are out here, Venice, beautiful place in LA. I got my beautiful girlfriend behind the camera. Of course, she's gonna be asking me the questions, get into this dialogue for y'all. Of course, if y'all have anything that y'all wanna ask me or something that you guys want me to talk about, send me a DM or go click that link in my bio, link in the description, and click the personalized video request. It's just for y'all. But, Marcy, how you feeling, Queen?
I'm feeling good, you know, this is a really nice night. It's really cool vibes, yeah.
I love that I love that shit. So what's the questions? What are we starting with? I think the topic today was insecure men.
Yeah, and why they do what they do.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's get into the nitty gritty.
Why do insecure men target women who already have their life together?
Target them in what way? I mean,
It's like things are going well, so like say they get the degree, they get the house, the home, and they're like accomplishing things, and then they come in, you know, not on that sort of time, and then they're like, oh, I want this woman, you know?
I mean, when an insecure man is going after a confident woman, that's usually a red flag within itself. I'm not even gonna lie, because the insecure man is looking at that woman as like an opportunity. Like, she has her shit together, he doesn't, so it's more of like an elevation. You know, it's a way to get up. It's a way to change his life in a better trajectory, you know? Sometimes these dudes start competing with you. Like, have you ever had a dude compete with you?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
What the was that experience like? I didn't know that.
It was just like, maybe just like comments, not necessarily like being in a relationship and it's like back-to-back competing, but you, like, if I can remember, but probably not. But it's a thing where like I'll say something like, oh, I did this, and they'll be like, oh, well, I did this too. Like, just a back and forth thing.
Pettiness. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, they don't feel secure in themselves, so they view everything you're doing as like a threat if they can't match it or surpass it. You know, that's what I'm saying, being around insecure men, that goes for men and women. You shouldn't be around insecure people in general. Like, if you're a man watching this, stay away from insecure niggas. Be honest with you, because they don't do nothing. They sabotage shit, you know. Insecurity is a real thing, and sometimes you can't shine too bright around certain people. Ooh, my throat chakra was closing up. Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, we were having a conversation about, you know, it's like a frequency thing. Like, when you're around certain people, they'll like uplift you, encourage you. And then the other side of it, it would be like, oh, you sure about this? Or this and that, you know? Like.
Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, that's also why I tell people you need to focus on your frequency and your energy. You know, paying attention to where you are in time and the thought process that you're in, you know, like. Earlier today, I saw myself like spiraling a little bit, you know, like overthinking and making certain processes harder than it needs to be. Sometimes you just need to fall in flow, and I believe that comes when you're able to check yourself and notice when you're not at the best energy. Like something I was telling you, like in the car, sometimes it takes me going to a better place, you know. Sometimes it takes me going to a different area, you know, seeing something different, being around different things in order for me to really look outside of my body, you know? Like, how could you be all depressed and you're looking at all this beauty and stuff like that, you know? Some people actually live in some very beautiful lives, and I believe everybody has access to that for real.
Right, true. Okay, why?
Next question?
Yep. Why does he act perfect in the beginning and then completely change once he has you?
Well, let's be honest. We can't act like he was completely acting at the beginning. You probably just haven't triggered him yet. You see, it's easy to get along with people when everybody's doing everything right. But the true colors come out when you actually do something that does not like. And then you see how they react. How does the tension, you know, how do y'all problem solve and shit like that through tension, rather? Those are things that you learn through time. But you probably weren't triggering the person at the beginning like how you was later on in the relationship. So it took a minute for their true colors to show, you know. At first, you didn't know how they reacted when they got mad. At first, you didn't know how they reacted when shit didn't go their way, when you told them no and all this other type of shit. But the moment that you do that and you see their reaction and they start switching up, you start thinking that, you know, they changed up on you and things are different. But it's like, nah, you weren't around them enough for their mask to, not mask, but to truly see who they were. That's some real shit. We be rushing shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta let people, expose themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what about situations where people say like they've known them for like years and then they get married or something and then it's like a whole different reality? Like, do you feel like there's always signs?
Yes, I do. I feel like you can usually see people clearly at the beginning to a certain extent, whether you want to delude yourself or not. You can. But then I think that says something within itself too, because if you were able to see all of that and everything was perfect up until the moment that you guys got married, and then that's when everything fell apart, that sounds like there was unnecessary pressure put on the title of the marriage. You know, I think a lot of people, they think marriage is like, oh, we're at the next level of our relationship, but it's like, nah, y'all were married once y'all found each other and y'all took each other off the market.
Yeah.
But y'all thought the paper and the ring and shit like that is what solidified a spiritual union. So you add extra pressure in places where it doesn't need to be any pressure, you know, and then you'll get to that next level and then start bringing in expectations that you didn't have before you were at that level. And that could throw off the dynamic because the relationship should be built before the marriage. No relationship should be getting built in marriage. Are you clicking what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like those type of things should be figured out and addressed beforehand.
Right.
It shouldn't be, oh, now that I'm married to you, I'm going to tell you how I actually feel about this.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Reddit stories about just things being said after that ring comes in.
Right.
And it's like,
People tell them they cheated earlier in the relationship. And it's like, why did you tell me that after?
Yeah.
We got married, had kids and everything. You should have told me you cheated at the beginning of the relationship in high school, wherever the fuck, at the beginning, not 50 years later.
Right, and that's a big thing. Like, it's that title, you know. Why does he pull away every time the relationship starts to get real and deep?
Avoidant as fuck. He has avoidant attachment style. You know, some people could want you, but they aren't ready to open up and get deep at the levels it's required to actually keep you. So if they've ever been abandoned or any type of shit like that, they not gonna want to get that close to you. They're gonna tease at it. That's how situationships usually play out from what I see. That's just avoidancy. It's just the very simplest way to put it. Or you're being breadcrumbed. Now we can go to the extremes. So narcissistic individuals breadcrumb the shit out of you. Tease the relationship, tease the commitment, but never actually get you there. You know, they'll do it every once in a while, you know, promise it, get you just right there, but you'll never actually get the full pie because they had no intent on committing to you.
Right.
They just wanted to keep you a little side piece, keep you, you know, have fun with you. And nigga didn't plan to marry you and all this other type of shit, you know? So it's like, yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's all just ties back to avoidancy and our narcissistic personalities. But most narcissists, if not all, are avoidant. So, yeah, it goes hand in hand. It just comes down to the extremities of the person.
So like when you move away from them, like, do they come back? Like when they come back, it's like a game to them, right?
Oh yeah, I always say this. I think I had to tell a lady on a call today that, like, sometimes niggas just know what to say to get you back. Like, sometimes dudes would double back. You see, it's a whole different perspective if a dude's like, you know what? I need to change this because I don't like this behavior within myself because this behavior caused me to lose the woman that I truly care about. I need to change as a man because I'm not settled knowing that I fumbled something like that. Versus a man who's like, oh, she's probably just mad about what happened last week. Let me just go say sorry. You see how it's a different energy?
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with kind of manipulative men and insecure and toxic men, they're only saying sorry to regain that access. They're not saying sorry because they actually changed anything or did nothing different. It's just...
Like, how can you tell the difference between someone just actually caring and wanting you back versus them just, you know?
I mean, you can address it right then. For instance, if this person comes back and they're just like, I'm so sorry for what I did to you. I'll never do it again. I see what you were talking about. You were right. You said this and I'm so sorry. If he starts using that word you a lot, I think that's when the red flags needs to come in, because if he actually changed, that conversation should be like, hey, I went to therapy. I found out some shit about myself that I didn't really like, I addressed it, I healed it. I believe I'm becoming a new person, and they can lay it out, and they can highlight exactly what it is that they're doing and or did to kind of show that they're sorry. When somebody's sorry about something, they make changes. You can just throw a sorry out there, but it's like when you're truly sorry for some you typically go out your way to like mend the situation and or fix it.
Right, that makes sense.
That's how I feel about the situation now. I know people be eating me up in the comments sometimes like, hey, what's going on, man? Nah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Why do insecure men call a woman crazy or too much when she expresses her needs?
So you don't want to hear that. I think that's right then and there, especially too because you're talking about expressing your needs and all this other type of shit. Some don't necessarily give a damn about what you're talking about you need and you want and shit like that. They're just doing what they feel as if is in their duty, if that makes sense. So like, if they grew up in a household where they're like, man, this is how men act, this is what men do, and this is the responsibilities of a man. If you're asking or speaking up and trying to get him to do something that's outside of the roles that he's programmed within himself and his mind, yeah, you're gonna be like, you're doing too much. You'll be like, can you why am I always cooking every single day? Like, you can't cook one time a week. You can't, and he'll get mad, oh, you're doing too much. But that's only because he grew up in a household where his mama did everything for him and his dad, So he didn't grow up in that type. Are you clicking the correlation that I'm picking up on? It's sometimes if you're just stepping outside of the box, you're too much.
Right, because they're not like comfortable with that, different perspective.
Don't let him have like more of a patriarchal type of headspace, and you want to start a business. You want to be on your own.
Yeah,
It's not gonna work.
Yeah,
You're gonna be like, oh, you're doing too much. Why you want to go out there and make money? Why you want to go out there and be like a? You doing too much. Just go be a lady. Go home and cook. Literally, get your ass in the kitchen. Go make me a sandwich. Literally, I'm so serious. But that's because you're pushing him out his box. You're gonna be like, oh, you're doing too much, just off of his programming.
Yikes.
That's all they be coming down to is programming, for real.
Yeah. Oof, seen that.
You've seen it? Damn. How bad was it?
It wasn't great to hear, it's a parental thing. So, yeah.
Nah, but yeah. So y'all, so that was the questions, right? I think I want to transition away from that a little bit.
Okay.
I think one of the things that I've also been having to talk to you a lot about on these calls and stuff like that is boundaries. Love, what's your experience of boundaries? Do you set them?
Yeah, I try my best. I'm still building my boundaries and connecting with them. When you are taught how to just accept everything, you want to people please, you put your needs last, put everyone before you, it is tricky to get there, but I'm taking the steps. Yeah.
What was the instance where you feel like you could have avoided if you had better boundaries?
I would say things I could have avoided. Definitely a time when I was in nursing school, the Airbnb situation where I got banned from it because I was rooming with someone and I was unsure about a situation. She's like, can we bring these people? And I was just like, yeah, it's cool. But I knew something was a little off. And then,
not trusting you good.
Yeah, and then everything escalated. And then even that same night I got bit by a dog. It was crazy. So that was definitely a big moment. Right. Where boundaries could have and should have been in place. So
yeah. Boundaries is huge. If you guys don't take anything from my videos, take the message of boundaries, knowing when
Does that light just go on or why?
I don't know. But knowing when and how to prioritize yourself.
Right.
You know, knowing how to put your foot down and speak up for yourself, you know. I don't think everything deserves this big reaction and, you know, fight for certain things. I think certain things honestly does come down to just knowing your sense of self-worth and not settling for certain things. Now, it's not saying be an asshole, because, you know, you can have expectations through the roof and end up lonely and sad because you wanted something unrealistic. But I mean, truly knowing yourself, if you know some ain't right, if you know you're better than some truthfully, and it's not no way to maneuver through that or change that or work through it, you gotta love yourself and remove yourself. And, you know, some that I've tell these women, boundaries only exist if you stick to it. That's like somebody saying, if you cheat on me, I'm gonna leave. And then they cheat, you leave, and then you go right back a couple months later because you missed them. The boundary never existed. Sometimes it comes to, like, you literally have to stand on it, and it's gonna feel f***ed up sometimes, you know, standing on business, but
Yeah, that's real.
yeah. But with that being said, I do love y'all. I do love y'all. I do love you. Like I said, we out here in the beautiful city of Los Angeles. Hopefully my camera and stuff like that was in focus for this video. Like, I would cry, you guys, if I played this footage back and it did not look like how it needed to. But yeah, y'all could go down to the description, get the books and stuff like that, the one-on-one calls. It's in there. Go check out the TikTok. We at 100K on TikTok now. We at 70K on Instagram. So we're getting up there, and we upload daily reels and like that over there too. It's not like these videos. Like, my YouTube channel kind of gives off a different energy than my shorts, to be honest with you. This is a little bit more grounded, and it's a little bit more of a deeper train of thought. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all for supporting. Appreciate y'all for supporting Marcy. Got anything you want to say to the camera?
Hey,
Yeah.
enjoy your life. You only got one.
That part, Queen. So yeah, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. We'll see y'all later, man. Peace.